berries and cream, oh, little ladle of berries and cream.
His heroics make headlines. He's one of the top-billing Nintendo icons of all time, dominating the handheld gaming scene and producing some of the most recognizable music of his genre.
It was totally an accident. He came onto the scene as a placeholder. He was never supposed to last. But his designers and director just fell in love with him, and so did everyone else.
Nobody brings people together like Kirby. He makes friends all over the galaxy. But this? Nobody thought he could pull it off.
He had done his concert at 25, and that was well received, but I believe that 30 got in his head in a big way.
It was a festival 3 decades in the making, driven by dreams and wishes, and it came with as many highs as it did lows.
The kid thought he was invincible, but that invincibility is only temporary.
Kirby wasn't without enemies. He had a temper. He was an original Smash brother. He wasn't going to convince everybody, and he knew that. But he did it anyway.
Well, the merchandise alone cost him everything. Well, this had to be a success. It had to, or it would ruin him.
Betting his entire life's work and reputation on a single night, he would end up making music history. Tonight, the pitfalls and triumphs of Kirby's 30th Anniversary Music Fest, the story behind the music. In the Fast and Furious 80s, Kirby floated to the top of the charts with songs that still resonate with fans after generations. From Pink Puffball to Pop Star Powerhouse, his music library only grew with his fame.
He was totally unstoppable. Why didn't he think of putting on a music fest before?
For the 25th, he'd sold out the Bukamura Orchard Hall in Tokyo and the Oryx Theater in Osaka, both almost instantly, and that demonstrated to himself what he was capable of. That's what set his ambitions on the Tokyo Garden Theater.
Located in the heart of Koto City, Tokyo, the Tokyo Garden Theater is an 8,000-seat venue primarily used for international conferences, seminars, and new product reveals. But Kirby saw its potential as a venue for a brand new music fest and convinced the theater to let him host it on August 11, 2022.
They only gave him 1 day for a whole music festival.
It sold out quicker than the orchestra concert. People were clamoring for tickets. There just weren't any. He only had the theater for 1 day.
That's when he said, "What about 2 music festivals?"
The music festival had been planned for 6 p.m., but after the high demand, Kirby scheduled a second festival for the same day at 12:30 p.m.
He didn't have anyone booked yet, and he already had 2 sold-out festivals for the same day. It was a huge gamble. Huge.
With the clock ticking, Kirby began to build out his festival set list and along with it, his band. The first to join up were a trio of Waddle Dees from Waddle Dee Town, which Kirby had just saved from annihilation. They played guitar, trombone, and trumpet.
Kirby wanted to start with a classic, Green Greens, but he weaved in Running Through the New World too, to honor his time in Waddle Dee Town. And of course, he ended the medley with the Kirby Victory Dance.
The Waddle Dees also collaborated on the second track of the festival, Kirby Through the Years 1993 to 2004, which cycled through the Drawing Song, the title screen from Kirby's Adventure, Grassland from Kirby's Dream Land 2, Peanut Plains, Candy Mountain, The Last Iceberg, Heading for Zero 2, and the ending track from Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
That track was huge. It was way too much for only the 4 of them. And it was just the second song. Like, thank Boyd they got Elfalin.
Elfalin became the 5th band member. He saved his world and Popstar along with Kirby 2 months prior, and now, along with his tambourine, he would save Kirby's music festival.
Elfalin was tapped into Gen Z, so he brought the modern hits to the festival. He worked on the 3rd medley and called it Beyond the 25th Anniversary.
They were on a roll now. The rest of the festival just got more ambitious from there.
The next song was the Get Pumped Up Sub-Game Medley. It was a fast-moving, complicated track, and the band needed a synth player, so Kirby reached out to the first enemy-turned-friend of the tour, Chef Kawasaki.
That medley needed synth. It was a way of harkening back to the Game Boy sound that first played Kirby's music.
No one thought a chef, a former enemy at that, could do it. But you know what Kirby said? Let him cook.
And cook he did. The medley covered music from Samurai Kirby, Egg Catcher, Checkerboard Chase, Smash Ride, Tilt and Roll Kirby, and the Congratulations theme. Kawasaki brought a new sound to the festival, and the confidence Kirby needed to approach his next performer, Meta Knight.
I mean, the guy was a legend.
He's the coolest.
Oh my god, so famous, so in demand. He didn't need this gig. At all.
So Kirby sweetened the deal with the next song of the festival, the Knight's Revenge Medley, a collection of songs from Meta Knight's greatest battles, plus Morpho Knight. Renowned sound designer Megumi Ohara was brought in to compose the track, and she wrote it to heavily feature guitar and percussion in order to give the brass section a break, having been heavily featured in the previous 4 tracks.
But you know, on the day of the festival, the brass section didn't rest. You know, they just stood up waving their pen lights as a sign of respect for the Meta Knight. You know, that's the kind of impact his involvement had on this thing.
From there, the band would play Kirby through the years 2005 to 2022, which was a medley of the opening from Kirby Canvas Curse, the title theme from Kirby Squeak Squad, the Heavy Lobster theme, Fly Kirby from Return to Dreamland, The World to Win from Triple Deluxe, and Northeast Frost Street from Kirby and the Forgotten Land. But the band was still missing one important piece.
Kirby needed a drummer. We all knew who we needed to get, but it was impossible, wasn't it?
Were they fighting? Were they friends? No one knew, from one game to the next.
It didn't matter what drama they were going through, he had to be there. DDD had to be there.
Imagine a world where time drifts slowly. New Red Fusion from Dr. Pepper. Who's your soda?
King Dedede was approached to be the drummer for the music festival. Between his hammer and his Drum Dash Deluxe, Dedede was a natural-born percussionist, but he was snubbed for Kirby's 25th anniversary concert and put on cello instead.
He never forgave Kirby after that, and I think that's why his demands for the music festival were so big.
Dedede would join the festival on one condition, the King Dedede Medley. This was a track featuring Macho of Dedede versus Robo Dedede and Masked Dedede's theme, but that wasn't all. He demanded that the medley be broadcast via video from the Kirby Cafe, and that it would be played by the HAL Laboratory Dream Band consisting of Jun Ishikawa, Hirokazu Ando, Yuta Ogasawara, Megumi Ohara, Tadashi Ikegami, Shogo Sakai, and Shinya Kumazaki.
Every person who's ever composed music in a mainline Kirby game over the last 30 years came together for this track. It was a significant moment, at least for people who are obsessed enough with Kirby to know who these people even are.
With Dedede on board, the next arrangement was the Go Go Kirby Race medley, which naturally began with Gourmet Race and followed by Outlaw Driver, Circuit Speedway, Top Ride Grass, and City Trial City. With only room for a few more performances in the 4-hour festival window that 2 shows afforded him, Kirby was ready to pull out all the stops. Kirby Finale Battlefest was his next mission, featuring boss battle themes for Nightmare, Marks, Zero Two, Magalore, Queen Sectonia, and Stardream.
This was a major flex on Kirby's part. He destroyed all these bosses that he was weaving into the track, except 2.
How Kirby convinced them to join the festival? I don't think we'll ever know.
Old enemies Marks and Magalore were the last members to join Kirby's band. Having been bitter rivals in the past, the collaboration marked a turning point in their relationship and a turning point for music.
Now Magalore is a magician and a showman, so of course he was gonna shred on the guitar. But Marks doesn't have hands, but he showed up on the bass and he slapped. Somehow.
With the band fully formed, the next arrangement was all 5 movements of the Star-Conquering Traveler from Kirby Star Allies, ending with Last Friends from the same. Kirby was on a roll and wanted to end the festival with a bang. For the penultimate performance of the night, Kirby would get Makiko Omoto.
There is no Kirby without Mikiko Emoto. She gave him a voice when he didn't have one.
It's hard to imagine a world in which Kirby didn't invite her to sing.
Miss Omoto would take the stage to sing Green Tree Memories from Kirby Fighters 2, but she wouldn't be alone. Joining her for a duet of Welcome to the New World would be sensational diva from the Forgotten Land, Nichol.
Elflin made some calls, and all of a sudden she was there.
This was the first public appearance by Nichol in our dimension.
She kept her face hidden for both performances. Even backstage. We still don't know what she looks like. But that hat was fantastic.
The festival concluded with an arrangement titled Kirby Endings, which consisted of Milky Way Wishes stop credits, Project K64, the ending theme from Kirby Squeak Squad, the title track of Return to Dreamland, Soaring Determination, No Night is Eternal from Forgotten Land, and ending with A New Wind for Tomorrow.
It was an incredible set. He only had 2 hours to commemorate and celebrate 30 years. And he did it. He really did it.
Megumi Ohara and Yuta Ogasawara served as the conductors for the concert, with Shogo Sakai guest conducting for the finale. 35 house musicians called the Kirby 30th Anniversary Special Band Deluxe filled the orchestra. Like the 25th anniversary concert, video game footage and a real-time animated Kirby appeared on a digital screen throughout the concert. And of course, there were the pen lights.
Oh, those pen lights.
Pen lights.
Everyone loved the pen lights.
Pen lights were glow sticks that were given to members of the crowd and band alike. They came with 12 different color options that were remotely controlled during the concert to flash in certain rhythms and light up in certain colors depending on the track that was being performed. A 13th color option, unable to be manually selected, was the rainbow color, which was activated for 5 out of the 12 tracks played. But that wasn't the only merchandise available.
Fans could buy a Music Fest program,
A Kirby mascot plush,
A muffler towel with pockets,
A t-shirt, a tote bag,
A collection of neon keychains.
A clear file, a rubber wristband,
And a tumbler.
With a stadium full of fans, it was the perfect time to plug Kirby's upcoming projects as well. Shinya Kumizaki presented behind-the-scenes sneak peeks at Kirby's Dream Buffet, as well as a look at the upcoming Blu-ray release of Kirby Right Back At Ya.
You know, he was doing this concert to celebrate his own history. Celebrate 30 years in the industry. 30 years of music. But like, he also wanted to show people he wasn't done yet.
The kids who grew up with Kirby have their own kids now. Some may even have grandkids. But if Kirby can keep evolving his style and his sound like he always has, well, he might be around to entertain their grandkids too.
In August of 2023, the CD and Blu-ray pack of the 30th Anniversary Music Fest with bonus Kirby mascot plushie became the best-selling 30th Anniversary Music Fest album with bonus Kirby mascot plushie of all time. With a strong history of crowd-pleasing favorites and no signs of stopping, Kirby has more than earned his place in music history.
Coming up next, Kirb Appeal takes a behind-the-scenes look at Kirby's Dream Buffet, followed by Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and then an all-new Degrassi: The Next Generation. Stay tuned.